Hello children, welcome to the geography class. I hope you are staying well and staying safe at home. Okay, let us revise what we did yesterday. We had learnt about the national highways. Now the national highways, as I told you, it is looked after by the National Highway Authority of India. Now these National Highway Authority of India, they are undertaking projects to make development activities that is under the National Highway Development Project. Next, the two major projects which have been undertaken by the NHAI. One is the Golden Quadrilateral, and I told you about the North, South, East, West corridor. So in the first phase, they had taken the Golden Quadrilateral, which was connecting the four major metropolitan cities, and then in the second phase, they had connected the North, South, East, West corridors. Okay, so we move ahead with this and we come to the next one, which says express highways. Now children, please focus on express highways. They constitute the most significant feature of land transportation. These highways are cemented 6-lane roads. You may underline that they differ from the national highways, simple highways or state highways, and they differ from them as they have cemented 6-lane roads. You may underline that. Designed to provide smooth, high-speed movement without any on-road obstacles like traffic or speed breakers. So in these you will not find any traffic, absolutely smooth movement of traffic is there, and there are no speed breakers also. Apart from that, you may just add that these expressways, you may add this, are of very high quality with all modern facilities like access ramps, grade separation, land dividers, and elevated section. So these are various other features, modern features, which we find in these expressways. Now what are access ramp? Now these access ramps are the ramp portion which allows traffic to accelerate and to match the speed of the road users on the highway. So that is what is access ramp. It is an elevated ramp which again this traffic moves and to match the speed of the highways. Then there are grade separation, and to understand what is this grade separation is the method of aligning a junction of two or more surface transport axes at different heights. So there are two roads moving, one at a higher elevation and one highway, another moving from below. So they are different grade separations made in these expressways. So, and there are elevated sections. Sometimes you find the roads are raised much higher above the ground level. So they are elevated sections also which are found in these expressways. Now we come to the next major expressways, and which is the Yamuna Expressway. It is the 6-lane, 165 kilometers long controlled expressway which connects Greater Noida with Agra. Please underline that this is connecting Greater Noida with Agra. It is the India's longest 6-lane controlled expressway stretch. It was formally inaugurated on It was formally inaugurated on August 9, 2012. The main features of the Yamuna Expressway are the following. You may underline the main features. It provides a fast-moving corridor to minimize the travel time and connects with the main township commercial centers on the eastern side of the Yamuna River. It has reduced the travel time between Delhi and Agra to 2 hours. It runs through the heart of the cities like Faridabad, Ballabgarh and Palwal, and has reduced congestion on the National Highway 2. Then, next, it enables the farmers of the western UP to move their agriculture, horticulture and dairy products to the major city. Then it has the telephone booths and the CCTV cameras installed at every 5 kilometers. Then mobile radars have also been installed to ensure that the commuters comply with the minimum and the maximum speed limits. So it has the various facilities which has been given to this Yamuna and Yamuna Expressway. Now the next expressway, which is also one of the major expressways, it is India's first expressway, that is Ahmedabad-Vadodara Expressway. Now it was opened in the year 2001, you may underline that. It has cut the journey between Ahmedabad and Vadodara to less than 1 hour. This expressway was India's first 4-lane expressway and dual carriageway expressway project, and includes minor bridges and canal crossings and interchanges in Nadiad, Anand. This is the canal crossings are there between these places. So it is the first 4-lane expressway, you may underline that. Okay, there are other less important expressways, major. You can underline the Delhi-Gurgaon Expressway, which is also a part of the Golden Quadrilateral Highway project. Please underline that. Then we have the Mumbai-Pune Expressway. Please underline that it is the first 6-lane concrete high-speed tolled expressway. Okay. Now there are other things which this Mumbai-Pune Expressway enjoys. It is the 6-lane concrete highway with 7 meters wide divider. Then it has separate tunnels, for traffic in each direction, complete fencing to avoid human and animal crossings, no 2-wheeler, 3-wheeler or tractor vehicles are allowed, and the provision of petrol pumps, motel workshops, toilets, emergency phones, first aid, breakdown vans, etc. are all provided. Then there is another set of expressways, Noida, Greater Noida Expressway, Delhi-Noida Direct Flyway, Panipat Expressway, Bengaluru, Mysore Infrastructure Corridor. So these are the various ones, the important ones being the Yamuna Expressway, Ahmedabad-Vadodara and the Mumbai-Pune Expressway. Now we come to the state highways. The state highways are constructed and maintained by the state government. Please underline that. The state highways, they are maintained by the state governments. These highways provide linkage with the national highways, district headquarters, important towns, tourist centers, and minor ports within the states. Besides these, arterial routes provide connectivity to the important towns and cities as well as the national highways or state highways of the neighboring states. Their total length is about 131 lakh 31,899 kilometers, which is about 4% of the total road length of the country. Next, we have the district roads. Now you must underline that the district roads, they are important roads within the district connecting the areas of production with markets. They also connect small towns with other important state highways and national highways. Next, we come to the rural roads, and in the rural roads, we must remember that 80% of the total roads length of the country are the rural roads. Now, most of the rural roads were initially sand roads, but now they provide vital links by moving agricultural produce and the finished products to the small scale industries. Children, please underline that the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, or the Prime Minister's Rural Road Scheme, was launched in December 2000 by the government of India to provide connectivity to the rural areas as a part of poverty eradication measure. For this phased implementation, the government has set up uniform technical and management standards to ensure sustainable management of the rural roads. So all you need to remember in this is that the rural roads 80% constitute, and it is looked after by it is the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, or the Prime Minister's Rural Road Scheme, which was launched in the year December 2000 by the central government. Okay, now the other type of roads that we have is the Border Road Organization, that a BRO, which was set up in the year 1960. Please underline, it was set up in the year 1960. It is used for strengthening defense, preparedness, and accelerating economic development through the improvement of roads in the northern and the northeastern boundary of the country. So it is mostly prevalent in the boundary areas, these roads. Now this organization has constructed the world's highest road from Manali, that is Himachal Pradesh, to Leh, at an average altitude of 4,270 meters. Apart from the construction and maintenance of the roads in strategically sensitive areas, the BRO undertakes snow clearance. Please underline, it is also responsible for clearance of the snow at high altitude areas, construction of the airfields, buildings, and permanent bridges. Okay, now the advantages of roadways. Why are the roadways advantages to us? Please underline these points. It is through the roadways that every village and the hamlet can be reached. So every small village and small hamlet can be reached through roads only. We cannot access these places through any other means like the railways or the airways. So it has to be the roads which are taking us to the remote corners of the country. Then construction of roads is much lower than the railway line. Now yes, it takes less amount of money in the construction of roads in comparison if we compare it to the construction of the railways, or if we take into consider the construction of the airways. It takes a lot of money, all these other things, but construction of roads is much lower than that. Then roads can be constructed even in areas with difficult terrain where railway lines do not exist. Now railway lines cannot be laid in the hilly region. When you go to a hill station, how do you reach there? You are reaching there via roadways. So it is the railway lines where it cannot be laid there the roadways are able to take you. Roads offer door-to-door service and thereby reduce the cost of loading and unloading. So the cost of loading and unloading is reduced because it is reaching your place. Exactly door-to-door service is provided through the roadways. Please underline this point also. Then the movement of goods is safer through road transport as chances of pilferage are lesser than in the railways. Now pilferage meaning that it is not stolen, no, things are not misplaced as in the railways, and it is the goods, the movements of goods are safer. Then the road transport supplements other modes of transportation. It provides link between the railway stations and the ports and their hinterland. So they are supplementing all other modes of transportation. This is another important point. So please underline all the advantages of the road transport, and please whatever mentioned in the book, please refer to that only. Then disadvantages of roadways. The other disadvantages of roadways: many roads are unsurfaced and therefore are not suitable for regular vehicular service traffic. Now the roads are not in a good shape always. They are broken, unsurfaced. In that case, the regular vehicular traffic cannot take place in such roads. Roads are not properly maintained. Poor road surfaces cause heavy loss in wear and tear of vehicles. So the vehicles also go through wear and tear when they have to move through, when they have to ply on these unmaintained, not properly maintained roads. There are multiple checkposts, toll tax, and octroi duties collection points on the roads which bring down the speed of the traffic, waste time and cause irritation to the commuters. Now this is, yes, one of the problems, that when you are going from one city to the other, there are multiple checkpoints, toll tax are taken and other tax duties are taken, and this brings down the speed also, waste time, and it causes a lot of irritation to the commuters. Then another disadvantage can be many roads have inadequate capacity, weak pavement, unbridged level crossing, and they lack wayside amenities and safety measures. So all these are not there. All roads doesn't have all these facilities which are enjoyed by the expressways. So they are not smooth, they do not have the adequate capacity, they are weak, they might break off. Then the bridges do not have the level crossing, they lack the wayside amenities and the safety measures. So that is one of the disadvantage. Then the next is that the traffic on the Indian roads, especially in the cities, is too high. Further, the same road is used by all types of vehicle, high-speed cars, trucks, two-wheelers, animal-driven cars, cyclists, and even by animals. This increases the traffic time, causes congestion, pollution, and road accidents. Okay, so children, if you are given to write about the advantages and the disadvantages of roadways, please mention these points. These points are correct and can be mentioned in your answers. Okay, till then, we meet again this much for today, and we meet again tomorrow. So till then, you stay at home, don't venture out, and stay safe. Thank you.